Greetings and welcome to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. Inside this box is a fun new smartwatch we're going to review for you. Its stake to claim is a couple of pretty interesting watch faces. It comes with a metal band, and it's from one of our previous sponsors over at AliExpress. Here we go. This is called the E13. And it's about a $30 watch, basic smartwatch, does the step count and heart rate and those kind of things. In fact, here's the overall specs on it. What's nice is it's using Bluetooth 5, which is a better connection, longer, more stable connection, and fast throughput speed. It's got these different chips in it that it's running, and some memory, 200 milliamp hour battery. It has 24 different exercise modes, of course, blood pressure, blood oxygen, sleep monitoring, your regular step count, phone call reminder. You've got all these notifications you can get from your phone, of course, when you set that up. WeChat is supposedly in here. And here's the app called Tethering, T-Fit I don't know. We'll look at it. And you got different alerts and things you can do with that. And there's the different languages that are supported as well. As we dive into this, we find, and we'll set this all up, that we've got one of these nice mesh metal bands with the quick disconnect pins in it. We've got the watch module itself, which is 2-button, clean design, very thin. We could take off the little cover, charging port, diodes for heart rate, screws for the back, although you don't need to get into that. Looks pretty well sealed. There's no waterproof rating on it other than life waterproof, which is kind of a generic thing about you might be able to splash it, but don't dunk it underwater. So I wouldn't trust putting it underwater. We have a dongle dock kind of an arrangement here, a USB connector, and it's not a wireless connection, but you do see the charging ports there, so when you have it all put together, you just drop it in, and it's a nice strong magnet, going to hold it in place. That's your charging. And finally, we got the smartwatch manual. Here we go. There's the QR code you could scan to download the T-Fit app, or use our show note link. We can get you over there that way about the general information on the watch. Putting it on, twisting it to see the time. Pretty stock stuff, so nothing really exotic standing out about this one other than it looks like pretty well built watch. We'll turn it on here in a moment once we finish showing you the manual. Guides you through all the different screens, brightness adjustments, music playback, all of that's on this one. And then some common problems, which, by the way, probably apply to every watch. There's some basic stuff you need to know and do as far as tethering and things like that. And then we're into the Chinese half of the manual as well. All right, I'm going to assemble it, and we'll give it a go. Here we go. Going to press the button to turn it on. Top one activates it, gives it a couple of seconds, vibrates, and there we go with that fun watch face you see on the case. Haven't seen that face before. Before we jump in, I want to talk about the band. This is pretty cool. I have not seen one really like this. It's a metal band, and it slides actually inside and underneath. You see that? So it's not one of those where there's a fixed little hook thing that you have to adjust to get just right and try it over and over again. You slide this underneath and then you just simply clamp it down. And it holds it right in place, as snug or as loose as you want. Really ingenious for a nice metal band. All right, moving on with the watch. We got a lot of different things you can see, and it's a little confusing, so bear with me here. We swipe down, we get to our controls, where we can find the phone if we want to. It should be vibrating over there now. Yeah, I got it in silent mode. Okay, you've got overall brightness with a variety of levels. We'll leave it on level 2 maybe. Information about the watch, the E13. And then we go into the settings, which has basically not much. Reset info, the brightness we just saw, and turning the whole thing off. There's your Bluetooth tethering on it. When you go up, you got messages pushed from the phone. Now it gets interesting. If I go this direction, I get into my step count, heart rate with a simulated animated chart here that is not real, but it gives you your heart rate up there in the digits. It comes over here and gives you your blood pressure, but you got to wait a while for that. Come over here, you get your blood oxygen reading, same kind of thing. It takes it a little while to zero in on it. And then your last night's sleep time information and exercise and weather for your area and Fahrenheit or centigrade, which is selectable from the app. In the exercise area, we have a whole bunch of them, running and cycling and swimming. There's 20 some odd. I'm going to show you more in the app, but they're all scrollable and selectable in here. You saw swimming? So even though there's not a IP rating, I mean, if it says swimming, you think you can take it underwater, right? So, interesting. So that's what we got when we went that way. But if we go the other way, it's not the typical looping around. We get into another whole set of stuff. You got your settings that we already looked at from up above. They show up everywhere. Here's the music player that'll play the music on your phone, from your phone, tethered to it, as long as you get it started over there. Find your phone again. Here's a stopwatch built into it. Simple little thing. When you leave it and you come back into it, it paused it. Oh, that's interesting. A lot of times it'll reset it. Let's let it run for just a little bit longer. Come out of it, and let's go back in it again. Yep, it paused it. Didn't reset it. So that's fun. Okay, something unique. There's the messages, which we saw when we scrolled up. There's the weather, which we saw from the other direction. Exercise, sleep, blood oxygen. It's just like crazy, okay? It wasn't looping the other way. Now it's looping this way. Anyway, you got a bunch of different stuff, things that you can see, but only these two things when you go up and down. When you press the bottom button, it takes you right into the exercise, and you can have it set on the one that you want. Activate it. You get time, you get distance, you get calories burned, you get heart rate, and maybe that's your pace, but there's no GPS, so you're not getting a direct track. Although I understand if you launch the app, which you're going to bring over next, and go into it there, you can get the GPS tracking from your phone if you want to track your tracking. Okay? And back to the watch face, which we will now switch from the app. I'm going to call it Tefiti, because that sounds, I don't know, like Tahiti, and that sounds like a wonderful place to be in the middle of the winter. We're going to open it. You go through a whole setup thing. You can create an account, log in. You can skip all that if you want to. Once you get through all of that, you get into your home page, which is where we are, showing you your target steps, distance, and calories burned. And as I'm moving around, I guess I'm making steps. I got 37 of them already. Here's the heart rate recording. You get in here, and it's showing you your live heart rate as it's going. I've had it on for a little while since we opened it up. I love this tranquilization state. That really applies to Mr. Tick sometimes. At least Mrs. Tick says so. My tranquilization state is relaxed, stress relieving, fat burning, cardiopulmonary, anaerobic, and extremity state. Yes. So you get your low and high and medium and all of that. Typical information related to sleep, to heart rate. Sleep record would be here. And again, you're getting your deep, light, and cumulative. And then you've got blood pressure that'll take readings here. And you can start one remotely, which I wanted to show you from here. Now, for me, that's a relatively low blood pressure. And there doesn't appear to be a way where you can set in a calibration, like putting in your own cuff numbers. If it were 130 over 85, for example. Some of these watches or apps actually let you put that in, and then it rates your blood pressure higher or lower than that number. This one's giving me a defined number. So if I really were 130 over 85, I would subtract the difference. And if, as my blood pressure really goes up, this really goes up by the same amount, I could use that as a calibration factor but you have to do it each and every person on their own. So when you guys ask me, have you checked it against a calibrated instrument? No, because each of you have to do it for your own physiology and your own body. Anyway, that's the whole tab for home. Sports. This is where you could go in and initiate a sport activity and look at them all. They're kind of hard to see, but you've got your running and walking and riding and rope skipping, badminton, ping pong, tennis, and 3 pages of these: football, baseball, cricket, hockey, gymnastics, indoor running, boating. Boating, guys. I guess that's not sitting in your motorboat. Hey, maybe there's car riding and driving. That would be great for Mr. Ticks. I got yoga, sit-ups, dancing, jumping jacks, and all of that. So you start one of these things out from there, and you can integrate, in a sense, the fitness in the app with the watch while you're wearing it. This is the page for your device, all the things you can do: call reminders, app reminders, sedentary reminders you can set. There's the universal settings, which includes shaking to take a picture, finding your bracelet, your on-screen time from like 5 to 15 seconds. I like to keep it high, but of course it eats into the battery when you do that. You can change your time, 12, 24 hours, and of course your overall device language. And here you go. These are the languages that are supported on this particular band as well. Alrighty. Now, other things we've got: dial settings, heart rate monitoring, smart alarms, and of course twist your wrist to see time, and do not disturb. Here's where I wanted to show you some of the other dials. This is a full-on dial center. These are the ones that you can choose to put on the watch if you want to, and there's quite a few of them. Which one you like? You want that one? Okay. Let's take it, let's synchronize it with the dial, and as you've seen in some of the other videos, it takes it a little while. It's got to download it, then it's got to install it, and when that's all done, this is what it looks like. Nice! Now, I picked this one because you see it's kind of edge to edge on the actual display, and so now you can see what the actual edge of the visible part of the watch is. There is a bit of a bezel and black barrier around it, but it's not too bad. It kind of actually blends with it because you don't have a defined bezel. There's a little bit of markings on the outside edge of the glass, but other than that, the inside is just right there. So that's the watch face that you have. You can press and hold and switch to the other ones that are already installed as well. And there's a nice selection of those. Okay, yeah. And of course, the ones that we've got here from the actual dial center, downloadable from the app itself. So that's it for there. Then you can put in your information. If you registered female, which I did, I can show you. You can set up your physiological cycle information as well in the app. Set up your background activity permissions and overall settings in here in terms of changing your units, metric and British. A lot of stuff in here. So the app is reasonable. It's well thought out. Got a lot of capabilities going forward. It's kind of basic in appearance, not fancy and colorful, but it gets the job done for you. It's the E13. That's what it's called, coming to us from our sponsor over at AliExpress. Basic, nice, functional smartwatch. Let's take a look at the band thing again. Slips right out. Comes with this nice metal band. I believe there's a couple of prices for different bands if you want. Very thin. Yeah, reasonable. Swimming was on it, so I presume waterproof. Yeah, not too bad. So check the link in the show notes if you're interested. If I got a coupon discount for you, I'll have it there as well. And that's this one. All right. We'll see you again soon, gang. Thanks for watching.